Hi, welcome to SBRForum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are previewing Week 10 in college football. We're talking right now with Troy West from allplayswin.com, who's going to give us 3 games that he thinks he has a decent enough edge to go on record as he does every week with us. Troy, thanks for being back with us.
Hey, thanks a lot, Pete. Hey, I want to clear up any discrepancy with some of the viewers. Last week, we went 2-1 in college football, but again, Pete, I'll be the first to say that those 3 games were never official plays on the website. Even though we did go 2-1, they weren't official plays on our Saturday website. So I just want to be clear with the viewers that they're more leans. It's early in the week, but plays we do feel good about, but typically aren't necessarily plays on the website. We finalize those later on in the week.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. How did you do at allplayswin.com this past week?
We went 4-2 on Saturday, and we went 2-2 and broke even on Sunday. So overall, another winning week and another winning weekend, though.
Yeah, 60% in football is better than I do. I'll tell you that right there. That's better than I do. All right.
And we did hit our top play of the year on Stanford over Oregon State on Saturday. It looked like a trap game, but we held high with Stanford, felt good about it, and they took care of business. So,
wow, that's a ballsy pick.
Good.
All right. We're going to talk about the Oregon State game right now as well. Obviously, you have a pretty good read on this team because for me, I don't really feel comfortable betting on them or against them. And this week, it's the same thing, right? It's a Friday night game. They're a 5-point home favorite. They're coming off of a tough game against Stanford, right? The tough loss, not just was it a loss, but it was a grueling game. It took a lot out of them. And USC, maybe they're a little bit down in terms of the talent department this year, but they're obviously rejuvenated after Lane Kiffin is gone. So maybe I'm leaning towards USC +5. But then again, going on the road into Oregon State to play a tough, we know what Mike Riley can do. We know the talent that Oregon State has. I wouldn't feel comfortable, doing that either, taking USC +5. But obviously you like something in this game. What is it, Troy West?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Oregon State in this game. I know you make a great point right away, Pete, with how Oregon State coming off a really tough loss against Stanford, but they are playing better football. It's a team that's slowly getting everybody back from injury. If they can get rested this week, I think Friday night it's going to be a lively crowd. Day after Halloween, I think Oregon State's going to be ready to play. USC really has no identity at this point. I know they're playing a little bit better under their interim coach, but really no identity. They're not playing great. They struggled a couple weeks ago against Notre Dame, played better against Utah, but still just a very shaky USC team that I think still being very much overvalued. So I'm going to take the more talented team. I like the fact they're at home. I think the Friday night atmosphere is going to be too much for USC. I think Oregon State at 5 is a little too low, and I think Oregon State wins this game by 10 or more.
No, I hear you. And obviously, if you went against them against Stanford, that's really saying something. That was a ballsy pick. It's just, does it not seem like USC, I mean, you follow the Pac-12, super closely. I trust your opinions implicitly on Pac-12 teams and games. Does it not seem that, USC maybe turned a corner after Kiffin was fired?
I thought so, and then they look what they did and lose to Notre Dame. So I don't think they've fully turned a corner. I think they're a little bit better. I think they respect their own coach more than they did with Kiffin. But I don't think this team's turned a corner. I think their season's pretty much shot at this point. So don't see them really getting up for this one. I got to go with Oregon State here.
And just before we wrap this up, so Oregon State, they've had problems with injuries all year. Now they're coming on a short week off of a very physically demanding game. That doesn't concern you either.
That is probably the biggest concern, but I truly feel like they're 2 touchdowns better, more talented than USC, and I think that home crowd's going to play a little bit of a role. I think they'll get up for this one. It's a big game at home. They've got a lot to play for, so I hope to see this team flush what happened against Stanford and be ready to play Friday night, and I think they will.
All right, well, Mike Riley definitely has a history of knowing how to get wins and covers late in the year. Troy West from allplayswin.com, like an Oregon State -5 on Friday night. Thanks, Troy.